Native American People: The Psychological Impact of Historical Trauma by Wilson Bellacoola. Narrated by Robert Caruso. Chapter 1. Who were the Native American people? To understand Native American people, it is important to have an understanding of the environment in which they live, know their history, and know how this history has shaped them. It is equally important to understand and respect their worldview, which describes the thought process of a people or a culture. Native Americans were displaced from their traditional lands. Their sacred sites were excavated, and their sacred objects were placed in private collections and museums. Their dead were exhumed from their traditional burial sites to make room for ranching and industry. Their artwork, which was never seen as separate from their culture, was commercially reproduced and modified for Western tastes. Traditional ceremonies and stories were depicted, usually inaccurately, in novels, movies, and on television. Their way of life was disrupted, and they were forced to accept religious institutions whose dogmas were often in conflict with Native American values. A variety of terms have been used interchangeably to refer to Americans' indigenous populations: Indians, Native Americans, American Indians, Native peoples. The problem of terminology began with Columbus. He was lost. The people he met were not Indians because he was not in India. But for some 6 centuries, these people have been called Indians. There are many different peoples in many different nations with many different languages. To justify the use of Indians, which some scholars find offensive, I have referred to Sherman Alexie's remark during a reading in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, March 1993. The white man tried to take our land and our languages. He gave us the word Indian. Now he wants to take the word Indian away from us too. Well, he can't have it. Throughout this book, all these terms have been used interchangeably to best reflect the subject being discussed. Children of Mother Earth. The earliest human record in North America is earth charcoal found on Santa Rosa Island off the California coast. Dated to 28,000 BC, archaeologists have uncovered Stone Age, 12,000 BC, sites throughout North America and all the areas not covered by glaciers. Human fossil remains have been found in Mexico City, dated to 10,000 BC. At the same time, the Sumerians were growing barley in Mesopotamia, around 3000 BC. People in Mexico were growing maize and squash and had evolved a sophisticated horticulture with extensive irrigation canals. Poverty Point, located off Highway 65 in Louisiana, has several complex Native American ceremonial mounds believed to have been first built sometime around 3000 BC, and the area is now a national monument. Cotton was grown in Peru around 2500 BC, and when Coronado arrived in Arizona in 1540, he was greeted by people in the area of the present-day pueblos, wearing woven cotton. Mesoamerica is the term applied to Mexico and the pre-Columbian cultures that radiated out from Mexico. The American Southwest, Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, and Southern California was part of Mesoamerica. Also, recently, scholarly research holds that the peoples of Mississippian cultures who settled on the Mississippi River and throughout the tributary rivers of the Mississippi in the states now called Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, Missouri, and Ohio, were also directly connected with the great sites of early Mexico, either through migration or direct colonization. The same year as Jesus Christ's arrival, the city of Teotihuacan rose to prominence in Mexico, with a population of 125,000 and the largest pyramids of the Americas. It became the center of a great civilization. By the year 300 AD, peoples called the Hohokam, the Anasazi, and the Mogollon had settled thousands of sites in the U.S. Southwest, and by
Sample complete. Ready to continue?